The Weed of the Week brought to you by Show Me Shortline and the Richiger FlexiGrain Storage System.
Affordable, flexible storage is here. Richiger R-Series bagger and unloader from Show Me Shortline. Maximize your profits with adaptable storage and management. Reduce storage costs and gain a competitive edge by selling at the right time. Visit us online at showmeshortline.com.
Our Weed of the Week is Pennsylvania Smartweed. Now, don't get confused here. There are a lot of different smartweeds out there. One that Darren and I used to deal with was swamp smartweed. That's a perennial weed. This Pennsylvania smartweed we're talking about today is just an annual.
Well, Pennsylvania smartweed typically has smooth leaves and stems, where swamp smartweed has a lot of hair on it. That's one way to tell without digging up the root system. Now, when we were growing up as kids, we did have some Pennsylvania smartweed on the farm, and typically it was just found in the low areas of the field where there was some poor drainage spots, and for that reason we gave it the nickname waterweed. Whenever we got to a low area of the field, we'd be on the lookout for waterweed.
You know, I don't think it was just the poor drainage and everything else that led to having the smartweed problems. I think it's the fact that the poor drainage meant the crop wasn't growing, and this is where we see more smartweed than anything, when you don't have the best stance. So a lot of times you get a good crop growing like corn or wheat and it'll choke it out, but it won't, obviously, if you've got poor drainage, if you have some issues out there, so you don't have a nice stand.
Well, when it comes to herbicides for control of Pennsylvania smartweed, there are quite a few choices in really most of the crops that we're dealing with. In corn, Status does an excellent job. It's got some dicamba in there, and it does a nice job knocking back
But you could go out there with Callisto or Loudus, or I mean, there are a whole bunch of different products that will help, and throwing a little bit of atrazine in will help as well.
Yep. When you turn to soybeans, with Roundup Ready beans, Roundup does a nice job. It's an annual broadleaf, and to my knowledge, there has been no Roundup-resistant Pennsylvania smartweed out there.
But keep in mind, when you get a smooth stem out there, you don't want too much water. If you have too much water on a smooth stem and smooth leaves, you're just going to run that herbicide right off the plant. So run low water volume with that Roundup.
Okay, the other thing that we should have mentioned too with the corn is we like to start with pre-emerge products like a Balance Flex, for example, or something new like Integrity, where it has Outlook plus some Kicksor in it to get a little added broadleaf control. And in soybeans, Optil, where it's got Kicksor with a little bit of Pursuit with it, could work just fine. Also, you could be doing something like a Valor or Authority. They aren't going to completely wipe out the smartweed, but they are going to ding it up a little bit that you won't have quite so much pressure to deal with.
It's the same thing in wheat. We'd like to put a pre-emerge herbicide down. Something like Sharpen or even Prepare in wheat would really help. Post-emerge, Wide Match is the only product I would say that's not, real great on it, that is very commonly used. Just throw a little something in with the Wide Match to help out on smartweed.
Well, that's all the time we have for our Weed of the Week, because Iron Talk is coming up next.